6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. Blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Such sights to show you. We'll tear your soul apart.
You shut your cocksucker, you son of a bitch! Rock and roll!
Just in the middle of a dream, I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Woo! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. Happy Palindrome Week, by the way. And yeah, it's Monday Maniacs, Death Curse Society on the air. The Colonel, Zigzag, Red Crank, we're all here. What up?
You act like there's more than just the three of us.
Yeah.
Well,
We're here. It's
yeah.
great.
Colonel, congratulations. I heard you finally scored some pussy this weekend.
I did. I will try to get her back down, but then she interrupt the entire show. I'm telling you. Yes, we added a new family member this weekend. I adopted a 2-year-old black cat named Eliza, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to change the name to Elvira.
Hell yeah. Of course you are.
Buy that for $1.
It was a bit more than that. And
Yeah, I
so
know.
I'm the Skyline drink in front of Crank the entire show. Fuck with him. So.
Well, good for you, man. Nothing wrong with having a little furry buddy running around, you know?
The mileages don't appreciate it, but there's Claritin for it. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I've been hearing you sneeze during the entire pre-show. Like, Jesus Christ.
That was just me holding her for a little bit, like, look, guys.
Yep. Oh, I was like, this will be good tonight. Keep the cat in the room, man. This will be great.
We'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Ziggy, how was your week?
Dude, I caught some kind of stomach flu or food poisoning like on Wednesday, and I was out of commission for a couple of fucking days. I still feel off. You know, I mean, it's 4 or 5 days later now, but whoa, yeah, bad week for that shit, man. Just sucked.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
This coming from a guy whose diet consists of pizza 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
Ironically, I think it was the gas station pizza that got me. I was at work and I just went, it's real quick. I'm kind of hungry, but not, you know, they go, yeah, they got these little $5, they cook them right there, but who the fuck knows where they're storing the cheese, the toppings in that fucking place? I don't fucking know, man. All I know is I was in that bathroom every 15 minutes for 8 hours straight from Wednesday to Thursday.
Ugh.
Brutal. Just fucking brutal.
Yeah. Man, I'm glad we have such great news for the DCS viewers out there every week whenever we come back and talk about what we've done this week.
We survived. We survived.
Stories. Yeah, cat pickups, you know, normally karaoke mishaps.
Yeah, well, I had a good concert Saturday night, too. It was nice. So it was a nice little weekend for me. Damn, it's rare.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ghost and Twin Temple kicked ass. Volbeat cannot spell Cincinnati. As these two know, that is a fucking pet peeve of mine.
Volbeat, this is for you. Volbeat, this is for you.
Thank you. I don't like Volbeat anyway. Like, honestly, I didn't even watch 90% of the set. I went and got a beer, just kind of walked around. And I was like,
at least they didn't come out. At least they didn't come out and say, "Thank you, Cleveland."
Twisted Sister did that once here in Detroit. They came out and did their first song and said, "Hello, Chicago." Ooh, it was.
Yep. Oh man. Well, looks like the crew's coming in here hard and heavy. We got Tyrone here. Oh yeah, dog will hunt. Unfortunately, that's not something we really are talking too much about tonight. Patricia's here. Tanya's here. Oh, CJ's here. She just watched TCM yesterday. She's ready. Excellent. Thanks, CJ, for tuning in. Andy's here. Rachel. Andy. S. Michael's here. Dave. Patricia. Patricia says, Colonel got some more decorations up. Looks nice.
You missed it last Monday. Not for obvious, more important reasons. Yeah, I got tired of these guys giving me shit. And they're still giving me shit, but I'm halfway there to where they're satisfied with how everything's set up.
Not yet.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Giving you shit. Just helping you improve the room.
I understand. But here's something I need to improve it too. I didn't add this before we get too far. So I was out today. Randomly stopped at FYE. It's like, well, let me see what movies they have. They didn't really have anything because, you know, physical media is dead. But I did find the Creep Show. Yes. Graphic novel. I'm like, this would be great to take to horror around.
This next month it would. Absolutely.
It's got to be a reprint, though.
It's a reprint. It is not the original. In the States, it's a reprint. So.
I had the fucking original, dude. And I'm talking, this is like first grade. I took this shit to school, man, and it got fucking mangled up. I mean, it did anyway. I read the shit out of it. I wore it out, but I definitely had that fucking thing, man, back when it came out. And I'd see what they're worth now, and it just makes me just want to.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that cat saying?
I feel bad. She's been doing that since she got here. Again, adjusting to the new people, new environment, exploring, but she likes to meow while she explores. And she can't meow all fucking night.
Running from your 3-year-old constantly.
Oh, dude. She's 4. And, yeah, she was nervous as fuck around her. She let her pet her today, though. But yesterday, she saw her. She's like, fuck this shit. I'm out, and ran ahead.
They'll be pals by.
Exactly.
Luke is here. He says he's late, but he's here. And S. Michael has a diagnosis for you, Ziggy. He says it was the enchiladas.
Indeed. Wait a minute. I got that in here too.
Oh, damn enchiladas.
It was the Oliver's Pizza. We're going to call them out by name. Oliver's Pizza. This chain comes to your town. Avoid it.
Kiara's here. Xavier's here. Hello, Xavier. Welcome for tuning in. Or thank you for tuning in. Stacy Lynn's here. She says, not a regular Monday as per usual. No kids at work or home till now. Got a mile walk-in with this Michigan bipolar weather. Well, good for you. Yeah, happy President's Day. There's the cat.
It's like 43 degrees. There's the cat.
She had to make an appearance before she hit underneath the love seat. She likes to do this shit too.
Is she clawed or declawed?
Oh fuck, she's clawed. I ain't declawing a cat. That's fucking harsh.
All right, before you put the cat down on the floor. Oh yeah, right under the nose, cat. Right under the nose.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go.
No.
Where's that box when you need it? Ziggy, where's your box?
Yep. I was gonna say, dude, pick up that cat. Pick up the cat before you put it down. And just do a big inhale from her back fur there, man. Just so we can. No, it's already too late. That tail went right under your fucking schnauzer. I saw it.
Just close. I was like,
oh, good Lord.
Fantastic.
Wow.
He'll be muted here in 10 seconds.
Yes, all right. I got the cursor hovering above it right now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's horrendously funny. Yeah, thank you. Hey, first off, I want to say thanks to our members. If you go to our page, deathcursesociety.com, you can join the Death Curse Society members and become a final girl or guy. Thanks to those that are there now: Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone. Or you can become a Crazy Ralph, thanks to those that we have now, Angelo and Raymond. Or you can become a camp counselor for only $3 a month. And that is Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave. Thank you to those folks.
Thank you all.
And speaking of, in the next couple of weeks might be a good time to become a member, because on March 7th, we're going to have our next game night, and we're going to be playing Curse Your Luck again. And I tell you what, we got some different prizes this time around.
We got some shit for you this time.
Woo! Partially sponsored by Womp Stomp Films. We're going to be giving away a Never Hike Alone Ghost Cut Blu-ray along with an autographed poster. And I actually have the stuff right here. It's pretty slick. Hold on. Let me do this.
The Ghost Cut.
You got one too?
I got one too.
Yeah. There's the Blu-ray.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. And we've got one of two different posters that you can get. So,
nice.
Oh, fuck, that's fucking dude.
Cool, man.
I never saw that one before.
Yeah. And the other one is this one.
Autographed by the one and only Vincent DeSante.
Both
It
of them
will also be appearing in the Adam Marcus documentary, Hearts of Darkness, along with us.
I saw that, yeah.
I got mine back there on the wall already. So, good to go. And just a note for you guys that are fans of Never Hike Alone, a new campaign is coming in March to start funding the next and final installment of the Never Hike Alone series. They're going to do one big feature film to wrap it all up, and they're going to need your bucks to get it done. So it sounds like it's going to be an ambitious fucking campaign.
Join us. We're going in, man. We're going in.
We're going to be a big part of it, I hope. So, is that all the... Yes, and by the way, members get, not necessarily first come, first serve, but they do get priority pick to compete on the game show, Curse Your Luck, for those prizes. So I think we're going to do, 2 members and 2
randoms.
Randoms, I guess you can call them.
2 regulars. Hey, it's a good time to get in, though. We'll figure it out. I mean, I wanted to even come up with a little bit of a little trivia contest, but we can draw for it. It's fine.
Right.
That's what we draw for. That's the fairest way. I mean, they're coming down to a trivia show.
Yep.
And Dave says you'll also get a gift certificate for Oliver's Pizza coming to a gas station near you.
Ugh.
See, man, that's where you fucked up. You eat so much fucking pizza. You just had to get the gas station pizza.
I had fucking 20 minutes, dude. I had to get back to work. And I was like, hey, I remember this place. And those fuckers there eat it every day. They had all kinds of stuff in it. But I'll tell you what, I walked into that gas station. I'm looking around. It just the fucking floor didn't even look like it'd been cleaned in years and years, But I don't know, man. I got an iron gullet. I figured I'd be all right. Nope.
No, you do not. Not anymore.
It's tore up, dude.
You're getting old.
It just, man, I just couldn't get no rest. That was the worst part. Like, as soon as you'd lay down from the exhaustion, the cramps would come back, and you'd have to run back up there. And it's not fun, man.
Yeah. All right. So I think we need to get into it because we got a lot to talk about here tonight. And it's going to be, it might be a long night, Colonel. I hope it's not too long, though.
Hopefully not. I can get up at 4:45 a.m. I'm getting up when you assholes are going to bed. Let's try not to run too late.
I'm aware. But yes, we are going to review the latest Texas Chainsaw Massacre that is available right now on Netflix. It dropped on Friday. Oh, man. Now, we are going to get into some spoilers later on down the road, but it is going to be a little bit. So if you are new to the channel or if you're just tuning in to check us out on this for a little bit, don't worry. We're not going to do too many spoilers at the beginning, but we will try to warn you later on before we get to those. We are going to get into some, though. Well, there's no way we can talk about this movie without getting into some of it.
Well, let's be honest here. I mean, it's not too much that can really be spoiled, honestly, with this. So
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start it off. Initial thoughts on this requel. Ziggy, I'll start with you.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Following the trend of Halloween and all the other movies and shit that are doing 40-year, what do they call legacy sequels now? They're calling them kind of. And great. I love it, but I'll have to admit, I'm starting to see the wear on the trend, the thinness of it, with everyone trying the same shit, because you're running out of interesting ways to reintroduce these characters, or you're fumbling completely with reintroducing them. And this is a problem. We saw Halloween Kills, Halloween 2018 even, it was great to see Laurie Strode back again. It's great. And it's, of course we want to see what's been going on for 40 years. But here we go with this new Texas Chainsaw. That's where we are. And it's a direct sequel to the first one, so ignore everything else. That's that bullshit again. None of the other 8 matter.
Right.
So, and I set the expectations super low. I didn't think this was going to be that good. It's not great. It's typically an average slasher film. There's no practical gore in it. However, the CGI gore is fantastic. It's really executed well. There's a couple of times when the angle isn't right or the light just isn't right. But overall, it delivered on the gore, man. Big time. Big time for what I expected on a Netflix fucking movie and Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the title. I was expecting the worst. And they delivered on the gore big time with this. I have to say, I got to give it the credit there and up front, because there's not much more to give it beyond that. And as we get going, it's a go down the punch list of any kind of social message or happening that's been going on the last, let's say, 20 years, social media wise. It's right there. There's a punch list. You go right down it. It's all there. Cops on people of color, school shootings. It's there. It's all there. And we've got a story. We've got a group of young people, and they're fed up with society, how it's run, the violence, the nastiness. They're going to buy this little ghost town in Harlow, Texas, and start their own community, cult-like. And it's funny because the locals even kind of see it that way. And then, here we go. That's our setup. We're gonna sell the buildings off to bidders as they come in, and that's going to be your place. We're going to build this community together. Wham! Here we go. And the locals don't like this. They don't want to see a bunch of hipster doofuses coming in and buying up all their history and stuff, So, well, yeah, it's initially that's about all the setup you get because story goes bye-bye after that. It just becomes your average slasher. And they start running into characters in the town and then actually run into Leatherface, and who's a little more docile at the beginning of it. But then as it goes on, he becomes what he knows. And yeah, you got your whole run of the movie. It does its thing, man. It's very, very by the numbers, I think, as far as the threat, the horror part of it, that slasher part of it. And in the end, I found it, I liked it more than I thought I would. It's not the worst in the bunch by far, but man, there is a lot of you got to just let it go and just be entertained by what it is, and you'll probably be fine with it. But man, if you try to look for something deep meaning or a deep connection to the original films, I'm sorry, you're just not going to get it.
God damn you, Ziggy! All right, never mind. Anyway, I have one twist I'm going to throw at you on this for a minute, and we'll get into it a little bit more later. But does Leatherface go back to what he knows? Because keep in mind, in this storyline, he's just been chilling in an orphanage for 47 years.
He is what he is, but there's a character played by Alice. Oh God, I fuck her last name up all the time. Creech. You may remember her from Ghost Story as the ghost in the in that one, and
or Gretel and Hansel.
Gretel and Hansel, right? I mean, she's been around for forever, but here she is again, and she kind of runs like an orphanage, which is completely barren now. This town is a ghost town, but she's still there. She still has her deed to the house. And as these, new hipsters come in and go, "Hey, you got to go. We own this now. You were supposed to be cleared out." She's going, "No. I worked this out with the city. I have that deed. I don't have to show you nothing." Well, it's kind of gets a little like, well, the law should have made you leave, and a little shouting back and forth. She has an issue and needs to be taken to a hospital. This is when we first see Leatherface. And he's just peeking down from the stairs. She just says, "No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm fine. Go back to your room," which he does at that point. But once she goes down with her medical issue, he's the one carrying her out to the van, because it's you're miles from nowhere, obviously, in Harlow, Texas. I think they said 7 hours from the nearest big city, something like that. So yeah, that's how it's when she croaks is when he kind of reverts to the Leatherface and love, or you at least know. So let me clear it up like that. Yes.
All right. Well, because that's one thing I want to get into a little bit later, but we'll talk more later. Colonel, initial thoughts on the requel, and I'll throw this at you too. What did you like about this film, and what did you dislike overall?
Initial thoughts. Well, the good thing is I don't have to set up the story at all. Zag had covered all of that, so this makes my job a hell of a lot easier. Initial thoughts. We talked about it. I think it was last week. My excitement level was pretty high because I was getting a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, but my expectations for it overall were pretty low. I walked away at the end of it. I was very satisfied. I think people are expecting too much out of a film called Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm with Zag. The gore was great. I have to get off my fucking high horse when it comes to CGI graphics, because it's just the world we fucking live in now. Like I said, what I really liked was just the gore, the fucking gore. Especially, I don't want to spoil it, but I have a special name for it. I haven't seen it online yet. Hopefully, people start calling it takes off from here. The snap and stab was a great way to say, here we fucking go. And I have to admit, the gore kind of settled down a little bit after that with some peaks and valleys, like most films. But the gore was fucking great. Without being too spoilery. Again, I could have done without the social commentary, but what I did like about the social commentary is don't always judge a book by its cover. I'm sure we'll get into that later, which I don't blame them. I would have had the initial same thoughts as our poor youth, hopeful people. But man, What I didn't like, well, again, it's a social commentary. Okay, here we go again. Gotta throw it in there. Gotta be a little woke. Even though I think this is more for comedic relief as we get further into the film, which I did enjoy that. And fuck, man, there was one more. Oh yeah, Sally. Wasted opportunity.
Okay.
I saved that for you, Colonel.
Thank you.
Nice.
I won't go too far because I know we are going to get back to this.
We're going to dissect the shit out of this here shortly.
Yeah.
So
I'll just say wasted like Laurie Strode in Halloween Kills.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, Ray says the gore is definitely what made this film. Thanks for tuning in, Ray. S. Michael says, interesting parallel between modern utopians and the original victims who were basically hippies.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, yeah, I ain't going to say anything about that. I was, but I'm not taking the light from S. Michael. Great minds think alike. That's all.
Right.
I mean, this just shows you that CGI gore can be done right after watching this movie.
I was expecting more practical effects, though, based on who produced it.
Right. There were a couple of practical effects, but not much. And the CGI that was there, it took me out because it didn't look that great to me.
I'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Not this conversation, but there's some I found fucking hilarious.
I'm thinking they showed Alvarez, it's like, look, this is what we're working on. And he was just like, damn, pretty good, you know? And that saves a hell of a lot more money, believe it or not, doing it that way, I would say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Biometal says, it sucks.
Yeah, you know, I can't fault anybody that didn't like this movie at all. You know, I
But I
can't.
also can't fault people that do like this movie because I'll tell you what, my initial thoughts, holy shit. I almost shut this film off 20 minutes in because of the social commentary. If you're going to boast, you know, hey, we're bringing Sally back. Now, it's played by a different actress, we know, because Marilyn Burns been passed away for a couple of years. We're bringing Sally back. And then use her this way? Fuck you. Why bother? Why fucking bother? I liked the gore, but I was distracted by the gore. If they had spent another 20 to 30% on practical, just that much would have made me been like, all right. I hated every fucking single character in this goddamn movie.
Did that not make it?
I hated them.
Didn't it make you root for their demise though? A little bit?
No. Well, yes, but no, I want at least one that I want to fucking root for. And
Well, there was. They did have that though.
Yeah, I was rooting for fucking Leatherface. It did exactly what it's supposed to do.
No.
It's sad commentary when we can relate to that over what came to that town, you know, acting that way, all foolish like that, you know what I mean? But that's the thing, you know, but they kind of ham-handed why you were supposed to, you know, you were kind of force-fed the hero, you know what I mean? Is that how you're feeling it, Craig?
Sort of, yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Because you were directed to, okay, well, you have to root for this person because
if you don't, you're an asshole.
Yeah, you're canceled.
Right. Yeah.
I am an asshole.
Ray, I see some of your comments, but I don't want to necessarily post them for spoilery reasons right now. We're going to get into some of that. So
yeah, hold that thought.
If we touch on some of this, come back to that or bring that thought back up because I do like that latest one you threw up. CJ says, yes, Sally was underplayed in this. S. Michael, compound fractures are always a treat, but they kicked it up a notch, didn't they? Yes. That was one of the things I liked about that.
Fantastic.
And Luke says, I will say the guy who played Leatherface, Mark Burnham, I believe is his name. Yes. Did a great job. I thought so too.
Yeah. No argument there.
I thought he did fine with what he was given. I'll say that much. But overall, the story was weak. I like the setup. The story was weak. The background of the characters was not fleshed out enough, especially your main one. They missed so many opportunities to delve into that and talk about that. And I know you're not supposed to talk about that, but it's a thing. It's a fucking thing talk about it in a fucking movie. It's okay. Explore those kind of characters, those kind of victims, and how they're adapting.
Well, especially since that was like the main background of her story. Like that was a driving force of the story by the time it all played out. And you got nothing but quick flashbacks.
Right.
Right. And I get it.
Sounds with it. So
it's the equivalent of when Rocky goes down and he in his woozy, knocked out state, half knocked out, he sees Mickey going, "Get up, you son of a bitch!" It's that kind of fucking motivation that happens to when she,
Lila.
yeah, when she becomes the hero role, in this. So, but yeah, oh god, you guys mentioned Sally twice. I didn't say a word about it yet, but god damn it. I mean, Crank said the story. It has setup, but then it's non-existent the rest of the way. It doesn't.
Like you said, it sets it up for 20, 25 minutes, and then poof, it's just like,
Nothing.
oh, fuck, story doesn't matter anymore.
It just goes, okay, let's go to the classic slasher formula. Here we go. And just a bunch of people to get killed and
I was at home doing this.
Well, and I'll say this. I've seen a lot of these kind of comments like, well, what did you expect? An Oscar-winning story to come along with this movie? No, I didn't. But I want something. I want something to follow. Don't tell me Jack and Jill went up the hill both with $1.25 and then just leave it at that. I want the rest of the story. Joe came down with $2.50. Oh, that's what it is.
I'm not going to finish.
Did I lose you? I thought you were frozen for a minute.
No. I just was pondering finishing that joke for you, but I'm not going to.
CJ says, I rooted for the killer because the characters are terrible. Luke, I'm going to get to that too. We're going to talk about that too.
And to me, it was the dynamic between the sisters. They didn't have any, you know what I mean? It just wasn't there. That's what I wanted to see. Like, I get she was in I don't want. Can I say it?
You can say it.
The school shooting thing. It's just too fucking easy. You should put a little something under, show a little bit of the struggle or something. There's no trauma there. It's the last seconds. You kind of get the gist that she was involved in a school shooting and just played dead, while it was going down, and she made it out. But it just the sister's kind of telling her like, well, you can't take care of yourself. Like she's giving her no credit, but you don't really know why. You know what I mean? I don't like it. I didn't like the way the interactions between those two the whole fucking time. And then
if they had added about 10 more pages, 15, maybe 20 pages to the script to flesh that out more, okay, let's hear it.
And there was certainly room for it because the fucking movie's like 123 runtime.
Yeah. That's 7 minutes.
And there were multiple points where they could have. But let's jump in top to bottom here and not dive too deep yet. But I will say this at the beginning. It was nice to hear John Larroquette's voice at the beginning, returning as the narrator for the third time. And this time his voice was laid over a true crime documentary style program about the murders. That helped set the scene for you guys, Colonel.
I want to say no. I mean, it was nice to hear the voice again. It was like, yes, as we all love. But I've seen the first movie 1,000 fucking times. Like, I get we're ignoring everything else, but the kind of jump on the true crime bandwagon makes sense. But Halloween 2018 did it too. So it really set it up. I'm like, okay, we're going this route again. It just didn't do much for me.
I agree.
The anticipation built up more for me with the fucking corkscrew and all the merchandise in the gas station.
Trinkets, yeah. T-shirts and corkscrews, yeah.
That shirt's going to be a hot seller now, but I think I've seen that one around though already anyway. But when she bought that fucking corkscrew, you knew that corkscrew was coming back into play at some point.
Of course.
It was too much. Here's my problem. Now, when we got the Evil Dead remake, I found that to be wonderfully original with the drug addict angle. That was cool. And it played well with what was going on here. They just didn't have anything like that here. They didn't, aside from your want to start a new fucking society, which seems like fantasy world anyway in this real world we live in. I didn't get it, man. It just didn't play right, that whole thing, that whole story. Just didn't like it.
I like the beginning with the narration because, of course, it's a throwback, and I'm a big John Larroquette fan. I think Dan Fielding is one of the best TV characters of all time, especially sitcom characters. I like that, and I actually did like the fact that they kind of tried to modernize it about like a true crime documentary instead of it just being narration for the film. It was something the characters were hearing in the store and kind of watching on this little shitbox TV. And then it's kind of a promotional message. Oh, yeah, you can buy the corkscrew. You can buy the T-shirts here. Look at the newspaper clippings on the wall. This is the historical spot. I like that because there is a gas station like this down there. They turned the old gas station into a tourist stop.
Yeah. Capitalism at its finest, my man.
Right.
Well,
I like that.
When they turned it on and the movie first starts and it's kind of like a tracking problem on a DVD player and it says DVD in the corner real quick. When that comes on and then, I get it. They're setting it up as, okay, it's been this long and half the people don't believe this shit was even real anymore. So, but
well, and it's also setting it up for shows like ours that have probably come down there and spent days, talking to the townies and shit like that, trying to get the real scoop and the real story. And if that's the case, how do they not fucking find this big looking guy in the goddamn orphanage right in the middle of fucking town for 40-something years?
Yeah, that was the biggest fucking plot hole.
Anyway, I'll digress.
He's 20, man. Yeah, we'll say that for later.
Yeah. Let me see here. There were a couple of comments I thought I needed to look at here. CJ says, yes, I messaged my friend that I wanted that shirt. He said that was the only good thing in the whole movie. That's good. I like that. All right. Ziggy did the setup. We kind of talked about this a little bit. Did the setup of the 4 young influencers determined to create their own safe space in the Deep South seem realistic to you? And was it a good driving force for the story?
I kind of wanted to see because the cops recognize that they're chefs. They do some kind of chef show. They're cooks, and just like what was it, Super Seller, with the Airbnb. Superhost. Yeah, that's it. Super Seller. That's a Jeff Daniels fucking vacuum movie, for fuck's sake. Super Sucker. Sorry, my bad.
Sucker, yeah.
Anyways, I would have liked to see like they did that in Superhost. They showed them doing their stupid vlogs and stuff. I think that would have handed a little bit to this, gave a little bit more to who they were and what they're coming from, what they're trying to accomplish. Instead of just a couple of quick clips and this is going on, and then here they are. They're here already, and they got this all worked out already. We're here just to clean it up and start auctioning off the buildings and get our utopia started. And
See, I think that would have been a good credit sequence. Showing clips of them talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
Showing pictures of the town.
Yes. Show clips of them bleeding.
Yeah, and then bleeding into the documentary style John Larroquette narration.
Because it even got to like later on when they are on their channel and showing the live feed, and it's the same thing. The end of Superhost. This looks so fake. I'm desubscribing from this channel. This is the worst chance to grab. You know what I mean? Fuck.
What's wrong, Colonel?
I had a joke set up with that from when we got to that topic. It's never mind.
Now listen, you're going to have to cue me in pre-production if you have something for that, and I'll ignore those topics. These are the things that are
you're
going in my head.
I'll still tell it anyway.
All right.
Yeah. Colonel, did you like that setup?
I mean, I wouldn't say it made it believable, but it's kind of believable. It's the youth has always been like this. They think they can make the world a better place. It's a story as old as time. Each generation is supposed to do better than the last. The setup, it worked for what they were trying to do. I mean, let's be honest. I don't really see a bunch of 20-somethings willing to move out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Texas, to have their own utopia. I mean, if you're going to do that, they did that in the 60s in fucking California. They bypassed Texas. Granted, it kind of makes sense because all Californians are moving to Texas right now anyway.
Now they're going back.
So it gave it a little bit of real world feel for me. It's just people showed up too early to auction off these fucking buildings to build this fucking millennial utopia or Gen X or whatever the fuck they are. So let's be honest, I'm a early millennial if you break down the generations, and I'm getting fucking old. I'm pretty sure we're on to the next one by now.
See, and CJ brings this up. I'm going to point this out in a minute, or I'll just point it out now. She says, "Oh man, with all the memes and posts I've seen about millennials wanting to start communes, it does make sense that a busload will come in and try to buy up a town." That's the thing that I did like about this. I thought that was an original idea, and it's based on kind of reality, because you do see these people talking about, hey, let's just buy up a plot of land and build our own, community out here. Get your 5 or 6 best friends together and do that. There's actually, I'm not fucking playing. There's a place here in my town called Yost Lake where a bunch of people just bought this area and then built little homes out there. And that's their kind of like, fuck you, Stillwater. It's just outside of city limits and everything. And it's a thing. Now, but that was built, I think, in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. But there are kids now that want to do stuff like this. Buying up a ghost town is not entirely out of the realm. Now, how are you going to buy up this ghost town and then make it a profitable thing and bring tourists in or bring other people in to live around it? I mean, you may have millions and millions of followers, but really?
Like I said, they said 7 hours away from Austin, Texas, which is where they were from. They sure as fuck weren't taking the interstate to get there. It is an old state fucking road. Like, no one's going out there. It's a ghost town for a fucking reason.
Right.
No one's going out there. There's nothing there.
And, dude, what's with the autopilot, okay? Can we talk about that for a second?
Dude, that might be a real thing, though.
No. Even if something like that, it ain't lasting 7 hour no drive. You know what I mean? Now I know they didn't show the thing on the whole time, and I understand why they did it for the ending. But I mean, it just that really pulled me out of the fucking thing. It's like, I'm old. This doesn't exist yet in a working capacity. I worked in a city where they tested these things where fucking people were getting run over by these fucking auto driving cars. And it's just a block they set up with all these things in the road and in the sky, like wires and shit to track these things and to control them. It wasn't fucking working. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, my car kind of does that though, with the lane assist. It will keep I can actually let go of the wheel and it'll stay in my fucking lane. Then I turn that shit off because I trust myself more than a fucking camera and a sensor. But it kind of does it.
Well, I see it maybe. We're not there yet for that. I mean, just on an open road like that, maybe out in Texas. But still, even, it's like, fuck, man. I was just like, this is a little odd, for who are these people? I mean, blogging is doing this well. I mean, did they ever say how many followers and subscribers they had?
No, the only reference they make, and like one of your complaints is they don't show their vlog. They don't show what they do on social media. There's just one comment about Dante says, "Oh, look, our post is blowing up."
Yeah,
and he shows it to her, and that's it. I want to point this out because we were kind of talking about it. Luke even says it. It's hard to look at this movie being placed in Texas when they filmed it in Bulgaria. No Texas vibes for me. No, that did not look like Texas at all. At all. Not to me.
No, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when they first came into town, they were like dirt fucking roads.
Yeah.
How the fuck that night when it rains, I could see fucking blacktop. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I was like, okay, you fucked up. Your department should have put some more fucking dirt on this shit before it washed away. What the fuck? But Luke, like I was telling these guys, we didn't talk about too much. I don't know if you've noticed, but every Texas Chainsaw movie since the 2003 remake, it's like they all have the same filter. Like how if you watch a movie that takes place in Mexico, they kind of use like a sepia filter on it.
Yeah.
It's like they use the same filter every film since then to make you feel like it's Texas, like it's the Southwest. It's like, what the fuck? I'm not stupid.
Well,
Like,
and
they
they still use that old original, photograph sound effect from the 1974 film in this one, even though it's starting a DVD, which annoy the shit out of me. But that's nitpicking at its finest, I will admit. But still, annoy the fuck out of me.
I will say the soundtrack was pretty good. It was all right. Soundtrack's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Good pulsating,
It's not bad. It's not bad. Like I mentioned, I almost shut this film off in 20 minutes. 20 minutes and 36 seconds to be exact, because of all the social commentary shit. Let's go through them. And Ziggy already mentioned a couple of them. Gun control, school shooting trauma, racial profiling, police brutality, Confederate flags, gentrification, abuse of the elderly, police racial profiling. There's 9 right there that I just rattled off. Everything that I just rattled off crammed into 20 minutes. Okay. And had they focused on 1 or 2, such as the school shooting victim, and expanded on that, I would have been more in touch with these characters. Was the social commentary too much for you guys? I wanted all these characters to die. So, Colonel, was it too much for you?
It wasn't too much for me because that's just the standard for horror movies anymore. Let's be honest.
It's not the standard, not this much. Normally they'll do 1 or 2, but this is a fucking lot, man. I just rattled off 8, 9 things.
I know. Well, the part is they didn't really focus on any of it, so it really didn't bother me. It was just like, oh, look at this redneck with a gun in a big truck. He must have a small dick. And then, but what bothers me most about the social commentary is I think people were trying to read too much into it. Like the scene where the guy's reaching to take down the Confederate flag. Mm-hmm. People are like, "Oh, I bet that it's a sign that we're still not there and just out of reach to change the culture." And it might have been, but it's a fucking slasher movie. I'm not looking that deep into it. Give me your bullshit. I can deal with it. And then once shit hits the fan, it doesn't matter. All that shit goes out the window. Just fucking go for the fucking ride. Force yourself through it. Fight through it for 20 fucking minutes. Yeah. And enjoy the last 40 minutes, 50 minutes of the fucking movie.
You get somewhat of a Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, but if part of your social commentary that you're going to push through, okay, if you can weave it into the story, then weave it into the story. Don't, and they did that like 8 times, and then the one that they should have focused more on, they didn't, and then you're just supposed to at the end accept it as, oh, well, I should have been picking up on all those cues from earlier. I wanted more on that and less on everything else. Although I did like Richter's character and that twist. So I think we talked about this earlier, but Ziggy, what about you in the social commentary?
I was the same way. I was going, okay, they're going out of their way to not leave any stone unturned in any of these social justice messages here. So I'm assuming that's what we're going with. And I was hoping that, these guys are going to get ground up, and I guess that's where we're going to be rooting for it. Or maybe I just wasn't sure what the filmmakers were going for. And it turned out to be a little bit of both. They tried to balance it, but that's where it gets all muddled up, man. Once Sally gets introduced to the story, you don't care anymore. It doesn't stick. You're not stuck on that stuff that you were all on at first, what they set up at all. It's completely removed. So, yeah, I'm like Colonel, man. They didn't hammer or harp on anything too much. Once they established it, it's never brought up again. So, yeah, it didn't bother me at all.
All right. Well, no, I think once Sally is introduced to the story, you're so irritated and pissed off at how it was misused. That's why you're distracted from everything else.
Maybe.
All right. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Shit, there's a couple comments here I want to get. Patricia says, Crank's description makes me not want to watch this movie even more.
No.
She says, I'm just going to go watch Slacks again. Okay, no, and no. At least watch this so you can either agree or disagree with us. Doesn't matter. Luke says, I'm fine with some social commentary. I get they want to put it in the movie in certain time and all that. But after the last couple of years of all this shit going on, I just want a break from it. I can see that.
That's what I was trying to get to. It seems that's what they want now. This needs to be the normal and the standard. And I don't necessarily think it has to be. You can tell your story, but you don't have to make it the one hinge for all of it. Fuck that, man.
Right.
It's like this. If you're going to use social commentary in your film, do it like Jordan Peele.
Yeah, subtly, not so in your face. S. Michael says, I think the bus scene made up for the social commentary by being the bus scene. It was like a tension resolver.
And you know what I mean? That's what I was kind of thought they were going to build to. I thought that's what they were giving to us, but then I don't think that was, at least it wasn't clear if they were trying to, make fun of that stuff, at all.
Right. Biometal says, I grew up in Atlantic City. Social commentary of my life experiences would be almost a complete opposite, honestly. The fact that people making horror movies can only put that side of there may be more, but
there's more, like 3 comments down. He finishes it.
Oh, okay. It's just like, are you so sheltered? Your only input is from TV, school, social media. To me, it's like wimps, pussies, disgusting. All right.
I get that. I just see where he's coming from.
That's the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kids of this time.
Yeah, I think that Kiara has the best because this is her age group. So I think she has the perfect answer for this.
Kiara, straighten it off for us.
Yeah. Kiara says, I don't mind the social issues in the movie, but I feel like they are starting to push it in a way to appeal to the younger generation in general. And as someone who is a part of this generation, I kind of hate it myself.
That's refreshing.
And I can speak for a lot of us younger generation people. Surely doesn't want it to be in the topic in all the movies. No, I don't.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Now, yeah, if there is a rednecky character that comes off racist, has a Confederate flag on the wall, carrying a gun on his hip, yee-hawing it up on the street, yee-haw, then okay. But still, I like the way they handled that character in a way.
Well, he was still he said, he goes, I'm not judging. He's like, oh, you're all a cult, eh? And they're kind of like, fuck you. He's like, I ain't
one of the best
judging.
lines in the movie. Yeah,
I ain't judging.
One of the best lines in the movie too. I love that line.
Is what it is. Just saying. As long as I get my money, I don't give a fuck what you do.
Patricia, we're getting ready to hit this because the lack of the Sawyer family is a major detriment to this film, relying on Leatherface to be the driving force of evil and revenge. Instead, he's been living the good life in an orphanage for 47 years. Now, my feeling, based on past movies, especially since this is attached to the original, in the original, Leatherface was a tool used by the Sawyer family. And how did you feel about this change in the narrative for this film? Ziggy, you seem there.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. As far as Texas Chainsaw Massacres go, none of them ignore that it's the clan, it's the family, the Sawyer family, and there's always working to get this done. It's sorely missed in this tale, and it shows. Although I do think Leatherface ascended to enough to be the antagonist here. He did great, and he's actually scary in a couple of scenes. He's very intimidating. Almost as good as the first, almost. But without that Sawyer family, that dynamic, I just don't think he could have. I don't think he has the fucking marbles to put it together himself. That's where I had a problem with this. And that's the whole thing. When he ends up at this orphanage in 1975, just a year after all the shit from the first one, I think this woman said, okay, she recognized what it was. Maybe she knew. Maybe she knew the family. I'm speculating out here. This is all me in my mind. And she said, okay, I just got to, it's okay. She talk to him nice and just feed him and keep him going in the back and stay in your room and just stay out of my room and all this. And he listened. I just think he needed someone to tell him what to do. So that part, I'm okay with that part. That was good. But God damn, man, now that we're here and that's all we got, there's no Sawyer family at all. And you got this one person kind of looking out for him, and then she croaks, and now he becomes all of a sudden out of this shell at 70 something years old. No. It's real thin, man. It's real.
That's my problem with this one because, like you just mentioned, he doesn't have the capacity to. I don't believe he has the capacity for this. He was forced into it in '73 by his family.
Yep.
He was kind of pushed into it, even in the sequel.
Yep.
By his family. You know, if you want
the retellings at the beginning.
Retellings.
Yes, he's always an idiot. He's always just unable to do it for himself. He's got to be told what to do all the way across the board until now.
Right. And like I mentioned earlier, I hated the fact that he's just been sitting in an orphanage for 45 years. And yeah, okay, his mother figure dies potentially at the hands of somebody here. Not really, but you can.
He doesn't know. He comes rushing down after the fact, and he just in his mind, that's it. That's what happened. This is your fault. I'm going to get you. And
revenge is spurred from there.
Yes.
I can almost buy that, but the fact that they just stick him up, they just stick him up there in an orphanage, it bothered me because why not include the goddamn family? You know, Colonel, jump in.
Thank you. Jesus Christ, I've been biting my tongue for far too long on this one. All right, I agree with you that the lack of the Sawyer family really took away from this film. But is there a lack of the Sawyer family in this film? Think about this. While they don't say it, there's plenty of plot holes in this fucking movie. This is my personal thought process after seeing it. I think the head of the orphanage was a member of the Sawyer family, which is why she was able to control him and keep him and to just go to your room, go relax. You're fine. Everything's fine. To keep him at bay for all these years. I mean, fuck. They even fucking put the chainsaw inside the goddamn wall. It's like she took him in or was hiding him from custody. They couldn't fucking find him. And then when she died, the last member of the Sawyer family, that's when he fucking snapped figuratively and literally and took out his revenge. Because, I mean, they even show that scene later on where he's going through her closet, takes like one of her dresses out and sniffs it and starts crying.
Right.
I believe that while they didn't say it, when it would have gone a long fucking way if they just made this itty bitty fucking connection.
It would have.
The fans of the film, like she was the last member of the Sawyer family.
I just still think that to me, what he just said still is against that. The mental capacity is just not there for him to, you know what I mean? Just the way he was hugging that dress, you know what I mean? It was.
Yeah, but I mean, look at it like this though. She dies. It's in all of us. Fight or fucking flight. I think when she died, he snapped and he decided to fight. And he just went back to what his family always had him do. Always. I mean, he only did, let's say, a fucking year. But still, just because he's mentally disabled does not mean he doesn't have a fucking memory. Because he went to the chainsaw pretty fucking quick.
I didn't say that, but we get a chance to talk about his memory here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a big fucking difference. We'll talk, but
I actually love your approach to that, Colonel, because, if there's a moment where they pull the deed out, had there been a Sawyer name on that? Okay. And they actually zoom in on it? Okay, cool. Had they mentioned, or if they may have to make another movie to do this, but if they come back and show how, like, in 75, the mom and Leatherface appear at this orphanage and just take over the place somehow without the rest of the town realizing what the fuck is going on and just assume ownership of it. Okay. So
I was just going to say that. I was going to say,
that's what I'm talking about.
They have to almost need to do a fucking prequel to this one to explain all them fucking holes that they left.
Yeah,
The why and when.
fair enough. I want to go back up here for a minute.
Texas fucking Chainsaw, folks. You believe this shit? Damn.
Luke, talk a little bit more about the social commentary. There's a time and a place for social commentary. Sometimes we just want an hour and a half away from it. That, to me, was the least of the issues with this movie. Yeah, I mean, if you watch the news at all in this day and age, you're getting social commentary. You don't want it in every piece of entertainment.
It used to be that was it. A movie was always an escape for me, always, and now it's like a fucking class, man. And it shouldn't be that way.
I agree with you, but there's always been social commentary in horror films, but it's always been very subliminal. It's never been as in your face as it is now, dude. I'm telling you, I can tell you right now. First time I watched Dawn of the Dead, I didn't pick up on that social commentary at all. I was young. I didn't care. I was entertained. I was seeing people get ripped in fucking half and heads get blown off. But watching it as an adult now, you really pick up on all this shit. Very subtle, subliminal. I wish they would go back to that style. I don't mind social commentary in horror films. I really don't.
Used to be called the sign of the times, you know. Now it's the, oh no, this is it, you know, and it's
right.
I don't know. I just if this is the sign of the times, man, we gotta work harder, folks. We gotta work harder.
Well, yeah, duh. Look where we are. Faye says, Kiara puts it really well. It comes off as preachy to a lot of us younger people. And then Kiara expands a little bit. For example, like a lot of people near my age and younger has experienced school shooting violence. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want it to be pushed on every movie out there, especially victims who just want a break from it. Agreed. But this is one of the few films that I've seen even touch upon school shooting stuff. There was, of course, the original season of American Horror Story did pretty heavy, and I dug that. Or what was it? The original season? I know it was that character, I think.
Yeah.
But,
well,
you know, but that was one of the first times that American Horror Story season was one of the first times that I had seen any horror, at least, talk about school shootings in that way and go into it that far. And I think it's okay to talk about it and explore
sure
it.
it is.
And especially see where it takes certain characters.
It just seemed like they were afraid to, you know, like they just gave you a little glimpse and went, oh, okay, we don't know how much or how little to do here, so let's just here it is, a little peek. Oh, okay, go get out of there, you know, real quick, come on. Just give us enough with it. I mean, if you're gonna make that the hinge to why she makes her decision to live, then let's see it, man. Let's see that everything that made that, you know, the horror of the general. Yeah, fuck that, man. I wouldn't want anything, and much less I have a 9-year-old. I don't want him involved in anything like that ever, of course. But if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You just gotta show it, and you gotta give it to us, man. Give us the full fucking package.
Yeah. All right. Oh, here's a hot take from S. Michael. I never cared enough about the family to miss them in this. I always found those performances to be over the top and manic and not particularly enjoyable. Leatherface was enough for me. Interesting.
So I found it to be.
Good opinion. You're wrong, but that's good.
I found it to be psychological torture in at least the first two movies. Like, I mean, I'm sitting there watching it, just going like, God, you know, I mean, these fucking freaks. I don't know what I would do in this scenario. So I disagree with you, sir.
Yeah. Wait, where was that other one? Dang it. No,
Chop Top. Come on, man. You can't shit on Chop Top. What are you talking about, man?
Luke says, this to me was like a revised version of Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Yeah, I see that.
I can see that to an extent. I mean,
I see similarities, but I think the 2013 version did it better. Even though the time jump was fucked up and some other stuff was fucked up, I thought that was a more believable premise, with Leatherface being locked in a basement and kept away from society by the aunt or whoever it was. You know, I believe that a hell of a lot more than I would he's just hanging out in the upstairs part of an orphanage and being cool. Just me.
Well, like I said, just listen to what I said. I could have explained it, which is pretty much just like Texas Chainsaw 3D. So
Yeah, and I like the way you did that. All right, there's a scene early on where Lila, the school shooting survivor, strikes up a friendship with Richter, the local contractor, and even cold fires an automatic rifle that is nearby. Now, this is one of those scenes like I was talking about earlier. They could have expanded on her backstory. She could have told him a little bit about, and maybe that's what they were doing upstairs and it got cut. I'll mention that. Maybe the scene just got cut for some reason. But they could have added some to her backstory, opened up the dialogue between these two, and shown, not necessarily like a budding love story, but shown where the redneck that carries his gun on his hip and drives, dual exhaust pickup truck that's just blowing diesel out in the air, get his story to understand where a recent survivor of a school shooting who doesn't like guns, who doesn't like rednecks, is coming from. That kind of dynamic would have been outstanding to have seen. But it was completely dismissed. And do you feel the same way about that? And what other missed opportunities did you see in this film, Colonel?
Well, of course I feel the same way as you. I mean, that's even the driving force of the tension in the beginning of the film when her sister starts pretty much just judge a book by its cover and starts talking to the shit to this guy.
Right.
Of course he's a fucking gun-toting, fucking wave-flagging redneck. He's in Texas. Like, that's what you expect. But then
wave flagging?
Yeah, waving that American flag, USA.
Wave flagging? I like
wave
that.
flagging, yeah. Obviously, you never listened to System of a Down. But
the French.
So I'm sorry, I like the way System of a Down put that years ago. I've always stuck with it. But such missed opportunities show why they connected. There was some kind of connection there. Obviously, while he was all these things, he was a better human being than all of them combined.
Yeah.
Which I love that part of the story. Frank, that's what me and you talked about. I loved that.
I like Richter as a character.
Yeah, Richter is probably the only character I did care for. And he's not one of my favorite type of people. I'm kind of like those other people. I'm just not such an asshole. Because I don't judge people based on, I judge them on their actions, not by the way they dress and political stances they may be at. But, I mean, they really missed it because I get it. Because it's like, okay, she has to overcome her fears. She grabbed the gun. She kind of freaked out. Cold fire, dropped it. Oh. But then later in the film, she just kind of... There's no hesitation. She's damn near... She's a pretty decent shot.
Yeah, spoiler, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. That wasn't too spoilerish.
See, to me...
Yeah, I'm just with you. I mean, that's really... That and Sally are about the only two stories I think they dropped the ball on, because the rest of it, I didn't need a story. It's a slasher.
I think they needed to add more about the dynamic between the sisters.
See, I got enough of the dynamic, though, where it's just overprotective big sister. I mean, that's kind of the vibe I got, and that was good enough for me.
I think a little bit more. I think a little more would have gone a long way, though.
They could have had her telling, pick up that gun and drop it real quick, and then go into a Phoebe Cates Gremlin story about dad coming down the chimney and kind of retell the shooting. No, I'm serious, man. Hear me out.
I hear you. I just the visualization of Phoebe Cates' story came back to me.
All right, but she could tell it and just I locked eyes with him, and I just slowly closed mine to pretend something, just kind of flesh that out a little bit, and it, and she wins over dude, and and you feel a little bit maybe her anxiety about touching the gun. I mean, all of that comes a little more clear.
All of that is kind of wiped away and explained more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those are the two of the three things basically that I think they missed out. And since we've mentioned it a few times, one of the most anticipated aspects of this film was the return of Sally Hardesty, the sole survivor of the first film. How did you feel the filmmakers handled her character? Did it live up to the legacy of the original, or was it just a cheap copy of Laurie Strode in the current Halloween trilogy? Colonel.
It was so blatantly a fucking copy of the Laurie Strode to an extent in the new Halloween trilogy. Spoiler alert, apparently Sally is fairly good. She's not as traumatized as Laurie Strode, apparently. If she's able to pass a psychology exam and become a Texas Ranger to hunt down Leatherface, but you can't find him if you've never seen his face. You don't know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we're set up for Sally. Somehow she's connected to, she gets a tip. He's here. And then she just kind of like loses her shit and just, I'll bring this up because this is what we're talking about. When she's like, "You remember me?" And he just walked away from her. Like, man, he's like, "Who the fuck's this bitch?" Well, of course, Sally remembers him, all the trauma. She was just another fucking piece of food. He didn't give a fuck. She got away. Okay, whatever. He's not going to remember her 50 years fucking later. He's not thinking about her like she's thinking about him. It's like, nah, it's like a hunter. Well, damn, that one got away.
Well, okay, hold on. Because it almost seems like the fact that she got away in the first film is what led to somehow the Sawyer family being eliminated, and B, him ending up in an orphanage for 47 years. So maybe,
but then
maybe he would remember.
I don't think we mentioned this before. Does he have the mental capacity to remember her, to connect the dots that she's the one that caused his family's demise?
I saw somebody mention something about showing him the photo, showing him that old Polaroid photo of her and her friends. Would that have changed anything?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she did show him the picture, didn't she?
Oh, did she?
I think she did, because I remember she took it out of the truck. But again, we're talking to someone who's not playing with a full fucking deck here. They were fucking food.
All right.
He did not. To me, he just didn't fucking care. That's what we're eating for fucking dinner.
All right. I think a little bit more could have been done there.
No, I agree. Something a little more could be done because they wasted the fucking character. Oh, I'm a Texas Ranger. You remember me? He walks away. And
well,
she meets her demise, but then she doesn't. And then she does. Without going into too much detail, what happens?
Right. I'm going to get into that too.
Yeah.
Here.
It was a fucking cameo. I can compare Sally in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 to Laurie in Halloween Kills. A fucking cameo.
All right. Ziggy?
Well, since he already pretty much went and said everything I was going to say, let me just add on like this.
Uh-oh. Glasses off.
Shit. Still in my bed.
What a waste of a legacy character. What a complete fumbling, mishandling, whatever you want to call it. She did not need to be in this movie outside of callbacks from old scenes, from the first one maybe, a newspaper clipping, a fucking interview on a newscast, something like that would have been suffice perfect instead of what they did with this and wasted a perfectly good, fucked it all up. I mean, she did not need to be in this at all. It would have been just fine without that angle at all. And that's all I got to say about that because Colonel did it beautifully before I got onto it.
Yeah. Kiara agrees. Sally deserved better. She seemed more like a side character. And yes, the movie wasn't mainly about her, but they could have done so much better, especially since the real actress had died.
Well said.
CJ agrees. S. Michael says the Sally factor was anticlimactic. I'm not going to read that one, but
damn it! I smudged my glasses, throwing my glasses down.
Dude, if you're going to take the bit, side down, sides, back on. I know it's hard.
I picked them up again. When I picked them up, that's when
sides, buddy. I know usually contacts. So.
Yeah.
All right. Here's where I'm going to piss off some of our audience, probably. And I apologize in advance. But personally, I don't believe Sally would have been the survivalist today as she is portrayed in this film. I just don't. Although you're really not supposed to make a movie like that in this generation because any horror movie has got to have strong women in it. If it's got weak women in it, then, ooh, you're a bad guy. But I feel like making Sally a Laurie Strode clone was a mistake because she was a complete mess at the end of the original and barely did anything to survive in 1973 except run and scream. I can believe Laurie Strode as a survivor because we've seen her fight back, even in the original Halloween. So am I a bad guy for saying this? Maybe. But I'm also staying true to what I view as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre legacy rather than trying to cash in. Now, I'll say this. I would more believe Stretch from part 2 could come back and be the one hunting Leatherface. And perhaps, you know, she's formed a friendship with Sally over the last 40 years while Sally rotted away in some psych ward somewhere. I could see that as a storyline because the two actresses handled Stretch and Sally, the two characters handled their confrontations with Leatherface much differently. Now, that's just my take on it, but I mean, Ziggy, could you see it that way?
Yeah, honestly, it probably would have served better to the story of this film had they just did the old Alice Friday the 13th Part 2 and just hit Sally right away and got her out of the way.
Beginning?
Just dispatch her right away and be done with it. Probably would have been a little bit better than what they gave us, in my opinion. It's just the way I feel, man. I did not like what they created, what they did, how she approached it, how she executed, and how it worked out. It just all sucked, you know. And she's the grandparents to, or the grandmother to these two, you know. I mean, so it just, yeah, it just sucked.
Colonel, what about you? Is that a hot take or bad take?
I don't think it's a hot take because that's kind of where I was getting at when I said there's no way she's going to go pass the exam and become a Texas Ranger. Like you said, she was mentally fucking gone. I'm not saying she couldn't come back from that, but that's years of fucking therapy to fix that. That is full blown, more like Laurie Strode, PTSD.
Chris Higgins.
It's again, it's hard for me to comment on this because and we're talking fictional characters here. I've never been lucky enough, never experienced that kind of trauma in my life.
Yeah,
but they set it up where she's fucking gone, and even one of the sequels, they set it up where she was fucking gone.
Well,
this one, she's a Texas Ranger. I was like, seriously, just. I guess that's how you're going to get her in the film. I don't know.
Here's something. Now, we've had a victim on this show, and we've talked about the trauma that goes along with that.
Yeah.
Now, is that person that was on our show out hunting for the guy that broke into his house and scared the shit out of him on Halloween night? However many years ago? 30 years ago? No. But he is helping other people and other victims of tragedy and other victims of trauma like this. So
yeah, he's a fucking light, man. That guy he's like a beacon to people that are struggling with traumas like that and realizing it's okay to talk about it in real life. So I mean, that guy, he lived it, and he's, you know, if you've seen him on here with us, you know, he had a deep fucking story. Somebody was trying to take him out, man. You know, like a fucking nutball with a mask on and shit, just like fucking Halloween. So it can't be, you know, we're not downplaying it at all. It's just like, as far as fake storytelling, fun times, you know, entertainment wise, we're allowed to have an opinion that way and critique how they roll with this kind of stuff. In real life, yeah, we get it. There's going to be traumas and stuff, but I mean, and we can control it in these fake movies. It ain't, you know what I mean? And there's a way to do it, and
well,
miss the fucking mark.
That's what I'm trying to point out, is that my feeling is not everybody handles trauma the same way. Not everyone is going to have a Michael Myers bust in their house, you know, 40 years ago, and then be the hunter of Michael Myers 40 years later. You're going to have some people that are maybe like Joe or Joseph trying to help others in that respect. You may have some people that are just, well, like Ray says here, Sally would have been a vegetable after the trauma from the first film. That's kind of where I'm leading. I mean, maybe she was getting better over the years, but that chick, literally the end 30 seconds of the movie is her just screaming as she's driving away or riding away.
So fucking powerful too, man.
And it's, yes, very
because
powerful.
he's kind of, the truck ain't really taking off too fast, and he's almost looking like he might catch her ass for a second until it kicks off into the next gear, and then you finally can exhale. You know, I mean, it's.
Yeah. I'm just saying, as a fellow chunky guy, he was barely pushing down the gas pedal. There's no way we're fucking catching up with it that quick.
No. And I'll just say this: if I ever am in real life, like in a situation like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and my significant other is there, run, bitch! Don't stick around and try to help me. Run, get the fuck out of there. I honestly, I'd probably do the same. So, I don't think I would stick around too long. Kiara says, thanks. Kiara says, I agree with the crank 50-50. One side because some people don't become strong after their trauma, but the other side, trauma changes people. Right. That's what I'm saying. But seeing Sally as not so strong a survivor isn't a bad thing to say because not everyone is okay after what happens to them. Definitely not a hot take. All right.
Just didn't feel like her to me after how we saw her.
Right.
Oops. No.
All right. Anyway, that's just me. Shut up.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
I hate
Asshole.
Breakfast. All right, one thing I think we can all say we enjoyed about the film were the kill scenes, mostly because they were pretty intense and every character got pretty much what they fucking deserved. So what was your favorite kill from the movie, Ziggy?
I was just so shocked by the bone snap and stab. That was fucking perfect way to kick it off and kind of made me go like, all right, let me settle in here now. I'm ready for this. You know, that locked me on for a good, got me in there for another, you know, not go like you were like, oh, fuck. After 20 minutes, 36 seconds, you were ready to go, you know? And I was like, once I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm ready. So yeah, I mean, it's basically the hand gets grabbed, snapped backwards, and then he stabs him with his own fucking forearm. It's great. Repeat it repeatedly.
Yeah, it's
glorious.
intense.
It's intense.
And it's a great way to kick it off, too. Exactly. Yes. Colonel, how about you?
Well, the obvious answer is the old snap and stab. I coined the phrase for it. That had my meter going like this. Like, it was good. Like literally, like I said, you're out in the first 20 minutes. I was in it for the first 20 minutes, was watching. Okay, that happened. I was like,
yeah,
you have my fucking attention. I am ready to go.
That
Same
did bring
thing.
me back.
I leaned forward just like that, Colonel. I was just like,
I was like, this is fucking glorious.
yeah.
Then we get a couple more kills, and then we get the classic Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sledge to the fucking head was fucking great. The only thing I wish they would have had more is the Richter character twitch. Because you're hitting the fucking nerves there. He's just not going to fucking lay there and take it.
A little twitch is always good for head trauma, man, every time.
It worked in Rob Zombie's Halloween when, you know, young Michael bashed his fucking head in with an aluminum baseball bat and he's in there fucking twitching while it's happening. It just adds a little bit extra. The stab, the snap and stab, chef's kiss.
Texas too, when the dude gets hit in the radio station and his feet are tapping along and shit, dude. That's disturbing, man.
We said the old hammer to the head almost gets a chef's kiss. It gets a salt baby. It was good, but it wasn't quite as good.
Oh, because that sledgehammer comes in, yeah, man, and it's not just one hit. He hammers it until it's a watermelon, just a splatted piece of mash. You know,
that's the one I like because there were at least 3 different shots of that head in varying forms of destruction. And I like that. And especially right after the leg gets broken, too.
Oh, dude. I was just going to say, when he hits him on that leg, and it's like just a full swing to the side, and it snaps. And it's gory. It's that sickening snap. It's good.
That's my favorite one, just because
Yes.
you can see the hammer hit the first time, and then the next time there's a little cave in, and then the next time it's like flat,
Oh,
and it's great. Luke's favorite too. It looks like the hammer
Yes.
smash base kill after he mallets the dude's leg backwards. That scene was great.
Now, there's one thing, Crank. Give us your favorite kill, and if it's not there, I like to come back to something. So
That was it. That was mine.
It wasn't my favorite kill, but I don't know about you guys. But when he's killing, I can't remember his name, so I didn't give a fuck. Didn't care to fucking learn it.
Dante?
The nail chef when he's getting him in the kitchen, dude. I love the swinging door. And the swinging action. That was fucking great.
That was a good shot. Good shot.
the violence was executed great in this, man. Almost every way around.
We got to mention the bus scene too. How did that scene resonate with you? And the cancel culture line.
I was laughing, enjoying it.
I love every fucking second of it. I'm telling you, fish in a fucking barrel, my friends. And I just cracked it up because that's this generation. As soon as he steps on the bus, everybody, ding, live. And Zach touched on it before. And then the first guy, hey, you better be cool, man. I'm going to cancel you. And he just starts fucking sawing him. I was trying to read the comments. I wasn't picking up on them, but I'm glad Zach picked up on the one I caught. The very last one. This is so fake.
Yep.
I was like, it was because of CGI blood. But, dude, that was fucking on. The chick getting fucking sawn in half, trying to crawl through the window and sawn through one dude and pushing the saw into the other chick in the fucking corner. It was fucking glorious.
I think somebody else brought this up earlier too. It may have been S. Michael commented about the window kill. If that didn't just look so cartoonish, it would have been cool.
Now that was one. That is one of the bad CGI shots. I will give you that.
Yes.
That one didn't look too good.
But it was still cool.
It was still cool.
It's
not the worst.
Doing what the chainsaw does.
It's not the worst CGI blood we've seen, man.
No.
Or action.
Yeah. Damn it. Scroll up. There we go. I want to bring this up. S. Michael brought this up too. What did you think about Sally having superhuman anatomy? Fuck Pilates. Texas Chainsaw Trauma is the new super soldier serum.
Yes. That's what I was talking about, and I didn't really want to touch on it when I was like, your dad came back in. There's no way. Like, look, cool fucking death scene. Not nearly as cool as fucking Dewey. Screen 5. Spoiler alert. Like I said, Dewey's was just for that character in Screen 5. I'll give him credit for that. Dude, Sally. I'm there. Her fucking insides are fucking mashed potatoes at this point. All right. Somehow she survives just long enough. Just long enough.
Yep. And gets thrown 25 feet.
Yeah.
That was a sandbag throw, wasn't it?
Yeah. Probably that's also one of the scarier scenes in the movie. I mean, it didn't scare me. But, I'm sympathized to this shit. But when it's just her and him in the ghost town, you're hearing the chainsaw revving up.
In the alley? Yeah.
The alley was the best. I mean, that was absolutely, for 1-2 seconds, Leatherface comes running at you, and it's terrifying. That shit was boom. I mean, almost like that every single time in part 2 when they're in the radio station and they're like, oh, what's in here? That's where we keep the records. And that Leatherface comes right out. It's almost, they went for that. And it's cool because he's kind of zigging left and right, and it's, fuck, what would you do?
Dude, he's using a chainsaw like a fucking lightsaber. Blocking fucking, it's like, fucking full spring. Yeah, I mean, let's be realistic. 7-year-old man ain't moving that fucking quick.
That was by far.
That was.
Can you believe we've gone almost? Can you believe we've gone almost an hour and a half without even pointing out the fact that Leatherface would be in his 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a little limp, but when he gets moving,
dude, he didn't even look 70.
No,
he fucking looked 43.
43. I would. Yep.
They showed his face. Yeah, they showed his face. That guy wasn't 70 fucking years old.
His hair was brown.
I have more grays than fucking Leatherface.
Yep.
Me too.
I'm 37. So
all right, so we're in it already, but how did you like the final acts? And here's where the spoilers come in, guys. Sally shows up and is pretty much quickly dispatched. Lila and Melody team up like fucking Wonder Twins out of nowhere. And a self-driving car rides off into the sunset as one final person is decapitated. That scene is almost like Leatherface taunting the latest final girl. And I know Ray's been bringing this up a couple of times. He loves that part. But did that bother anybody? That he's like, hey, got your head. You know? Did that bother? Like, teasing a kid with the nose. Got your nose.
I was sitting there thinking, are we going to get a chainsaw dance here? And we did at the very end there with a head too. So, but yeah, I mean, I just think, based on what it was and where it went and the story that it took us on, that ending, it's just a mirror of the first one. That's all it was.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah,
Same.
but that was a
full
rough
circle.
manner.
I was left full circle, like, oh, okay, so we're going back to starting over again. What, we'll see you in 50 years? What the fuck?
That Ray says, in reference to him looking young, human meat keeps you youthful. Okay. I need to start eating more humans.
I guess. I thought the deteriorated your brain.
It was.
Sorry.
Colonel.
Man, the final act, to be honest with you, after the bus scene, to me, it's supposed to be the climax of the film, but it's kind of anticlimactic for me.
Mm-hmm.
She overcomes her fears. Sally saves the day. The sisters team up on Leatherface. He's dispatched. And then, of course, you do get the nice little beheading at the end. And I kind of like that, where he held up the fucking head.
I will say, Colonel, real quick, that the beheading was the second worst CGI of the movie.
Oh, that was fucking terrible.
Yes.
They really should have gone practical effects with that one, but they should have gone practical effects with a lot of these. Practical effects will always be better than CGI. But
came off a bit too easy, in my opinion.
We discussed this a million times on the show.
We do.
But the fact, I loved it. It's like she just cruising away. He's holding it up. Like to me, it's like the old school, medieval days where they would behead somebody and stick their head on a fucking stick outside the city gates to warn people. That's him. Don't fucking come back. That's the way I interpreted that.
All right. I got a question for you.
He's young shit, but I liked it.
All right. I got a question for you. Why did Sally call him Leatherface?
Because it's terrible fucking writing. That's why. But that's what they kind of called him. So she probably, she could have been the person to coin the term as the Texas Ranger. You never know.
Crank, they called him Leatherface in the previous 8 films. What do you mean?
He wasn't called Leatherface in the first one.
I know, man. That was a fumble on their part, I think. They didn't need to do that.
I've been waiting for this night to find him again. Leatherface. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Did you like the post-credit scene?
I already said dead air. I thought it was cheap. I did like it, but it was cheap. Wrestling fans know a cheap pop. To me, it's like a cheap pop. Wrestling, they come to town. How's everybody in Cincinnati? That's fucking cheap. People are going to fucking cheer. Musicians do it all the fucking time. So, I didn't even know it was one. I was like, okay, this is where I turn it off. And my buddy's like, hey, man, what'd you think of that in scene? I was like, oh, shit. And then he turns back fast forward through the whole fucking movie to get to it again.
That's how Michael found out about it, too. He says, did you watch? My buddy called and told me about it after I'd already left his place.
Yeah. So, cheap pop, fan service, setting up a sequel, as any horror film does.
Yeah. And Ray actually mentions, I like that. Yeah, it was great. Like, here's your friend's head, bitch. Ziggy, did you like the end credit scene or post credit scene?
I think that's a good comparison there. Cheap pop, now you're seeing a silhouette of a house, and I was trying to look at it. I rewind it. I was like, is that Sally's house or is that the original house he's going back to? I couldn't really place it.
think it's his
You know?
original house.
Yeah, that's what when I did additional research, and it was like, okay, that's all it is. It's just a setup, or if maybe this is where we're leaving this chapter. He is going back home, and that's where he'll live out his days, and we'll probably never hear from him again in this universe. But I doubt he'll be gone forever. There'll be someone else coming out to make another Chainsaw movie.
Absolutely, they will. All right. 0 to 10. Where do you rate it? Ziggy, start with you.
I set the bar really low with this one going into it. And I'll be honest, we're gonna give our quick lists here. We're not gonna give any explanations of why. We're just gonna blow through our lists. I'm sure
We're gonna have to pretty much.
Yeah. But I discovered that I don't really like this franchise too much outside of the first couple of films. Man, I mean, I'm being honest here. They're not very well done. None of them. There's shining moments in each, but overall, man, it's kind of a ball of shit. The whole thing, it's very confusing if you're trying to follow it as they try to tie it into the first one, and this one ties into that one. It's like, fuck, man. And then here we are again. This one just a direct sequel to one. So I was entertained by the gore most of all. And when it did settle into the storyless regular slasher movie, all right. I came out of it, the whole thing, warts and all, CGI, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, 6.
6.
6.
So you're giving it that for mostly the gore.
Mostly because I was very impressed with they went all out with the blood and the gore. It was good that way.
Man, that's like going to a football game and saying, man, those uniforms look really good on them. I love this game. It's weird. Man.
I wouldn't simplify it that much, but I mean, I see what you're saying. I know your score was probably be half of mine, but that's all right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Colonel, what's your rating?
All right. Before we, like Zach said, Texas Chainsaw, it's probably one of the just handled horribly horror franchises ever. But yet, Leatherface is a big enough icon to keep getting these fucking movies. Like I said, there was so much not to like about this movie. But when it was all said and done, I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the ride. Again, I need more practical effects over CGI. We all know this. But I was satisfied with the gore we got. As everybody knows, Zag and I, we're gore whores, man. This is up my fucking alley. Blood, guts, fingers, and toes. That's what I fucking want in a slasher. I don't need a story. People complain, "Oh, don't have a story." But these are the same people that love Terrifier. I love Terrifier too. But let's not be honest. There's not a story there either.
Dude, I bitched about that about Terrifier.
I'm just saying people are shitting on this, but glorifying Terrifier. Yeah, Terrifier used practical effects. Yes, of course, Terrifier is a better fucking movie than this. But I don't love Terrifier for the fucking story. I love Terrifier for the fucking gore. So the gore in this was enough to keep me entertained. The last hour, that last 40, 50 minutes of the film, I enjoyed. So, that being said, out of 10, honestly, I'm giving it a 6. It was enjoyable. It was worth the watch. I will buy it for my collection because, if I buy one movie in a franchise, I have to have all movies in the franchise, even though 7 or 6 of the fucking 9 are complete and other pieces of shit. But I still have them. And I'm talking about Hellraiser, not Texas Chainsaw, because I don't want to ruin my list. So.
I'm kind of OCD like you too. If I buy one movie in a series, I have to get pretty much all of them. But luckily, I don't own any of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres on physical media, so I beat the system. Good God, you guys, 6, man. All right, yeah, and you're right, Ziggy. I'm a 3 all the way. 3 all the way. This. I know it's only February, but this is one of the worst movies I've seen this year. Yes, I am that person that goes to a horror movie to see a story. Yeah, okay, sue me. Okay, sorry. I like the backstory of Friday the 13th. with Jason as a kid and drowns and comes back and all that. I like that. I think that's a fun story. There's a story with Leatherface that you couldn't expand upon. There was stories with the other characters that you could expand upon that would have been interesting and still pushed your agenda forward. We all know you had one, so why not explore it a little bit more? 3, fuck this movie. Again, the gore was the best part, but that does not help it get a higher score. Actually, the 3 kills that I liked were those 3 points. So there you go.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Luke says, as much as I love the violence and gore, that doesn't make up a movie. Plot-wise, thank you. Thank you, by the way, Luke. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Luke. Plot-wise, script seemed rushed and forced. I put this pretty low on the Chainsaw franchise list. 1.5 out of 5. So, yeah, 3. All right. Ray says a 5. Patricia's heading out. Luke also says, I prefer what... Bye, Patricia. I prefer what everyone considers the worst sequel over this one. Much more schizophrenic, bizarre, and crazy, and more on the realm of the original.
What are my thoughts on that?
We'll get into that. Not much, but a little bit. Ray, nothing there except excellent gory death scenes. S. Michael's giving us his list. Oh, bull. Ray, come on. Just glad it wasn't Antlers. I liked Antlers, man. Biometal.
Biometal was the 1.
Yeah. Biometal gives Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 a 1. And Ray says that Antlers should be sent back through time and never made. Damn, I liked Antlers, man. All right. We do got to get to our rankings, and I'm going to rattle through these, mine at least, pretty quick. Because we're running out of time. Colonel's got to get his beauty sleep. Look at him. He's already gotten a haircut and everything. He's looking sharp.
Looking dapper.
Dapper. Number 9. Sorry, Luke. Fuck the Next Generation. 1995. I don't care if McConaughey and Zellweger are in this movie. They are awful. Everybody is awful in this. There's nothing redeeming in this movie.
Acting is so fucking bad.
Luke, we talked about this the other day, and I think I told Colonel about this, but you for some reason you liked this movie, and we were going back and forth, and I came to the point where I said something about there are dueling remote control leg braces. Don't die on this hill, my friend. Don't die on this hill. It is number 9, and it is number 9 for a reason. Number 8 for me. The most recent one, 2022. We've spent an hour and a half talking about how much I hate this fucking movie. Number 7, The Beginning, 2006. Jesus Christ. Born in a fucking meat processing plant. Okay, whatever. I'm sure there's worse places to be born. I don't know if that's one of them. Number 6 for me, only because there was a nice little twist in this that I like this origin story better. 2017's Leatherface. And that's it. The rest of it is pretty much trash, but I like that twist. And I like the fact that it kind of ties into 2013's film a little bit. Number 5 for me, here's a surprise for you. The Remake, 2003. Not a fan. Really not a fan. The best part about this movie, and I will admit it takes up about 15%, 20% of the movie, are the low angle shots of Jessica Alba's ass. Best part of the movie.
Biel.
Jessica Biel, yeah. Yeah, Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel's ass, yeah. Great. I mean, I'd take low angle shots of Alba's ass too, but either way. 20% of the fucking movie. I think the categories. Number 4 for me. After watching this again, this got a little higher on my list than I thought it would. 2013's Texas Chainsaw. Yes, I know. There's a 20-year, at least, time gap that is not really explained. Yes, there are other interesting or weird holes in the plot. I get that. But I can believe this story, like I mentioned earlier, Leatherface being locked in a basement and taken care of by an adult figure until that adult figure dies, and then you have to pass him on to somebody else from the family. I believe that story a hell of a lot more than I believe this one. He's just hanging out in an orphanage, really kind of unwatched, except for some old bag that's about to die. Call me crazy. Number 3 is number 3, 1990, and the rest should be pretty easy. Number 2 is number 2. Number 1 is number 1. Nothing else to it. La-da-dee, la-da-da. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Good list, my friend. Good list.
BK says, you guys know there will never be another great horror movie made again. We will never be scared to our core ever again. I don't know if we'll ever be scared to our core again, but I think there will be great horror movies. Absolutely.
I think there's still stories to be told that could be effective on people.
Well,
so.
see, here's what I see what he's saying. I disagree to an extent. I'm with you guys. I think there will be another great horror film. Of course, she comes running back meowing as soon as I get ready to talk. Got muted this whole time. But the thing is, we won't be scared to our core again. We were already scared to our core with the classics. You got these kids coming out. They're going to watch, the next great horror film young, and it's going to scare them to their core. And even the cat agrees.
I think age has a lot to do with it now, as far as us being scared to the core.
Shit, man.
Yeah. But I think good movies can still be made.
PK says your cat is pissed.
He disagrees, Colonel.
Yeah. And Luke says, yes, he knows The Next Generation is a garbage movie, but I think it's fun garbage. All right, fair enough.
Fair enough. Colonel, I've got a cat translator here. Let me see what he just said. Ready? I'll punch it in.
Asshole!
Oh, jeez.
There's a reason to talk about a big BK like that. He's a cool dude.
No, that's your cat. With your reasoning for.
All right, Colonel, you're next on the list, sir.
All right, let me pop this motherfucker up. So I got a couple screens. I'll go in a little more detail than Crank, but not too much. I agree with Crank. Coming at number 9, The Next Generation. Sorry, Luke. Terrible. The only bright part of this film for me was Matthew McConaughey, because I can't figure if his acting he played that character so bad because his acting is that good, or he was just actually that bad. I couldn't tell. Was he too over the top? Is that good of an actor, or was he? I don't know. Shut the fuck up.
The cat disagrees.
Yeah, but other than that, it was just. And it probably had one of the nicer set of titties in the whole franchise. I'll admit that we see, because it's 95. Of course, we're going to have boobs in there at that point. But that was it. It's just nothing really much for me in Next Generation. I already talked about it too much. Coming in at number 8, I would put it higher on my list than this if it wasn't for one thing. Leatherface, 2017. I enjoyed this movie. I didn't enjoy it as a origin story for Leatherface.
Yeah.
Back in 74, we're set up that Leatherface is just a mentally handicapped person that is used as a tool by his family. No, not in this one. He's crazy, but he's a good-looking son of a bitch. It ain't the quiet fat kid you see. It's just some handsome-ass little fucking dude doing his thing.
And that's the twist I like, man, because they set it up like it's going to be that big guy.
I know that's why it's so low for me. It's because that's not the Leatherface we've been sold. I get it.
I know,
but you're making your own movie, yada, yada, yada. I look at it kind of like, the remake of Child's Play. Good movie, but you fucked up tying it into this franchise. Kind of like this. I thought it was a decent movie, but you fucked up. Coming at number 7. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning. For another origin movie, can you give me a little bit more of a fucking origin?
You just squirted out at the slaughterhouse floor, and that's it?
Yeah, and that was it. Like, yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, just fucking terrible. Just terrible. Coming in at number 6, Texas Chainsaw 3D. And like I said, this was probably my number 8 movie before I rewatched it. And yes, you have the time gaps, and yes, you got the cheap fucking added do your thing, cuz or even Adam Marcus fucking hates that, because that was not in the script. I feel for Adam and Deborah because they see their names pop up and they think they wrote that, and he's very adamant that he didn't.
Right. Still not as bad though as this last one, in my opinion.
I think it was. But also, it was going to make me sound pervy, but I don't give a fuck. You know, Alexandria, I'm going to butcher her fucking last name. Daddario. Tell you, pale skin, black hair, smoky eyes. That boy, oh boy, did I love watching her for an hour and a half. I'm sorry, I'm a fucking pig. I'm a male. That definitely helped this fucking score. I forgot how fine she was. Mm-hmm. And coming at number 5, strictly for nostalgia purposes, I'll be honest, Leatherface, 1990. The Sawless Family. Dude, come on, you got Ken Faree in it, man. Fucking Viggo Mortensen. That's a bad movie. It's bad.
Oh, it's not good.
But it's entertaining. Again, nostalgia for me, because when I watched Leatherface, I was a kid. I was a sponge. I was absorbing horror left and fucking right whenever I could. So I did enjoy it. I thought it was a fun movie. Now, not so much. But come on, man, it has some good actors in it. Then coming in at number 4. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Gore. All right. Coming in at number 3. That's all I have to say. We talked about an hour and a half. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03. Jessica Biel helped. I'll be honest. When I first seen this in the theater, I really dug it.
Of course you did.
Rewatching it, it's fucking bad. But that's how bad the franchise is where I have this in at number 3. Okay? That's how bad this fucking franchise is overall. Coming in at number 2, my 1 and 2, it was a fucking coin flip. It's more 1A and 1B than 1 and 2, but I had to do 1 or 2. So coming at number 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Dog Will Hunt.
Woo!
Great fucking sequel. Such a good fucking movie, and so different from the original.
Yes.
And Tom Savini doing the special effects.
Yep.
That fun fucking movie to this day. And it still pisses me off. Call back to what I was talking about earlier. And the Child's Play reboot, they did not show this movie in order when they were fucking watching it. I hate when movies do that shit. Sorry. But yeah, it could easily be number 1. So number 1, no surprise, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. Game-changing movie, changed the face of horror forever. Just insanity at its fucking finest on such a low budget. This is why Tobe Hooper is a master, or I should say was a master of his craft in horror. And Gunnar Hansen, rest in peace.
Yep.
That's Leatherface. No one else will ever touch him.
Good list there, Carl.
Thank you.
Ziggy, following up the rear. What do you got?
It's fine. I mean, my list is closer to Colonel's than yours, obviously. But I mean, I do a lot of horror, and the nuances are so stupid though. Like things I might like, he might dislike, and that made it switch it up and down. But it's all the same. I mean, outside of the top 3 or 4, all of these suck pretty bad, man. They're hard to watch. I don't know how many times I just went watching this shit this week. Yeah. You know. So at number 9, sorry guys, The Next Generation. It was originally the return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They canned the fucking thing. They weren't even going to bring it out because it was so fucking bad. And then those 2 idiots, Zellweger and McConaughey, blew up in Hollywood. Whoa! That's like a green light to anything they're in to get released. Paul Rudd, Halloween 6, same thing. So yeah, Next Generation. One of the worst acted movies I've ever seen. It's just that bad, you know. And then the quick, cheap pop at the end with Sally on the fucking gurney in the hospital. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, what a waste.
And they went real far with the transgender Leatherface in that one too.
Worst Leatherface design of them all. It's also another reason why she's at the bottom here. Number 8, Leatherface, 2017. Colonel said it, man. You're going to do an origin fucking movie. Give us what you sold us in the beginning, man. Don't fuck around with reinvent your own fucking legacies and fucking legends. I hate that shit. Number 7, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. Hey. It was there. It was there.
I don't know. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would after seeing it again recently.
Cool twists and stuff, but just come on, man. It just wasn't. It didn't feel like it to me. It just didn't have that feel to it. Just like a lot of these don't. Number 6,
the story felt better to me. That's all I'll say.
Story, right? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 2003 at number 6. Yeah, Arlie Emery. That's probably the best thing about it. Followed by number 5, TCM: The Beginning.
Now you put the origin story prequel before.
I did.
Interesting.
And you could probably, based on what day of week, odd or even day, they may switch. It doesn't really matter.
All right.
Yeah, you guys already said enough about these to where it's fine. I mean, you've covered it. And again, these are fucking. They're not. None of them are really that good, man. That's what really annoys me about it. I mean, it's just like I can't believe that there's just really nothing about most of these. It's very annoying. It's just you're making a movie just with a title and a chainsaw, and you can't do it.
I think I just saw an angry face emoji go up when you were talking about this. I don't know why.
All right. Number 4, we've talked about it the last hour and a half. The new one, 2022. Hey, man, it's a fun ride with lots of good gore and a pointless story, but not as pointless or confusing as some of the other shit we've seen thus far. Number 3, Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I was graduating high school when this came out, and I was happy to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming back after 1986 at this time. So maybe it's more of a nostalgia pick on this one. I don't really know. The next 2, same with Colonel. You could either 1A, 1B. Number 2 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Bill Moseley. Chop Top, baby. And Carolyn Williams as Stretch, our girl. I would love to see her in a sequel, legacy sequel, as they like to say now, the popular term.
I just think that makes more fucking sense.
It makes more fucking sense. You got Dennis Hopper. You got a face-off with Chainsaw Battle. It's great. I mean, everything. There's a lot of stupid about it, too. But, I mean, overall, you walk out with a complete film. Again, they do kind of recap the same stupid ending from the first one in a different way on the mountaintop. But so I don't care. I like it. I still like it. I saw this fucking movie unrated in 1986 when it came out because they wouldn't give it a fucking R rating. So, and it was glorious. So, uncut gore in a theater. There's something you never see anymore. Finally, number 1, the cornerstone, one of the foundations of the slasher movement, the original, the classic, Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, it's scary, man. It's disturbing. It has it all. It has the grit. It's 1974. It was done fucking right. And it's, honestly, I'll say it again. I could take 1 and 2, and I could never watch the other ones again, and I would be fine.
The original was one of those films that my parents did not want me to see when I was growing up. Like,
understandably.
They were fine with Friday the 13th, Halloween, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But this one, they were like, why don't you wait a couple more years?
It was a little more real than those, though, than a guy in a fucking Halloween mask,
Right, a hockey mask, yeah.
Hey, Zach, great list.
Exactly, great list.
But no, I mean, like I said, that's what I love about the original so much. It feels real.
Yes.
It just feels fucking real. And God, the first time watching it, I'll never forget. It's just jaw dropping the whole time, and then just jumping, and even that picture sound to this day.
Yes.
Like it's like
it's very similar to my Halloween story, where the first time I saw Halloween was it was actually 1980, and it was tagged up with that terrible alligator movie that came out, and I was so excited to go see that at at my age at that time, at 9 years old, and instead we got Halloween starts, and I fuck man, that blew my mind. This one I went to see a double feature, and it was paired with. I was already aware of Texas Chainsaw Massacre by then, but I'd never seen it, so. Seeing it first on a big screen, I'm happy that happened that way, and I got to see it properly. So and it scared the fuck out of me, man. Even in the theater, it's yeah.
All right. Well, S. Michael kind of agrees with you guys with at least 3 of your 4 picks. He puts 2022 or wait. Oh yeah, he puts 2022 at number 4, and then the remake from 2003 at number 3. Then part 2, then part 1. The rest he couldn't care less about, and the movie overall gets a 6 for the gore and comedy. So, man, there's no way I could say this is better than 50% of the movies, the Texas Chainsaw movies out there. But I guess you guys can. So
I can easy. Fuck,
I can easily, yeah. One word: gore,
gore,
gore, gore. Lanteric says, game changer, no doubt. Welcome. He's late, he says, by the way, too.
What's up, brother?
TCM redefines several different concepts of the horror film.
Exactly. Cornerstone. It's one of the cornerstones.
And he says, I'm so glad I never saw The Next Generation. Yeah.
Dude, actually, it's so bad. I mean, you probably should watch it just so you could get a laugh. You know what I mean? But it is, yeah. If you're looking for to be scared and disturbed, no. This isn't the one.
Comes off very
yeah. This may explain something about Luke's love for The Next Generation. I really like bad movies. I just love that the movie is so nuts and out there, and it's just so bizarre. After getting the Scream Factory 2-disc set, I came to respect it a lot. They made a 2-disc set out of The Next fucking Generation?
Yeah, I need to buy it for my fucking collection because that one is not in my collection yet. I need to buy it when it goes on sale. Yeah, it's 2 discs.
Wow. Scream Factory will literally package and sell anything, won't they?
As long as they make money, it's a business, man. Trust me, I'm sure there's plenty of those.
God damn. Luke says, funny, Toby Hooper thought TCM was a black comedy. Boy, was he wrong. And Land says, I giggle at horror movies. TCM is one of a small handful that I did not giggle at. I had to shut it off and walk away at one point. Yeah, I mean, the first time you watch it, it's shocking.
That's the first time you see anybody get walloped with a sledgehammer. And again, with the twitching and the involuntary movements and stuff. That shit was disturbing. Chick getting thrown up on a meat hook. It still fucking holds up,
The whole fucking dinner scene. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. It's disturbing. I mean, I'm saying, like, you need a shower after watching that fucking movie, man.
Pretty much. Guys, one last time I want to thank our members, our final girls, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone, our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo, and Raymond, and our camp counselors, Stacy, Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave.
You guys fucking rule.
Yeah. Also, stay tuned. In 2 weeks, we'll be giving away on our next edition of Curse Your Luck. We'll be giving away a Blu-ray of Never Hike Alone, the Ghost Cut, along with an autographed poster. And looks like we got an extra poster to give away. And we'll probably throw in a T-shirt or two at some point. So
listen, we're going to be having a post up. That's going to be your registration post to throw your name in the hat if you want to play. So if you want to do it, keep an eye on the page, man. You're going to see it there on Facebook. And that's how you're going to get in and play Curse Your Luck.
Yep. And honestly, I'm not positive what the topic is for next week. We have not confirmed it yet. So
I can't believe we blew through that fucking list already that had all that shit on it.
In 20 minutes?
No. That list of topics. There's a lot of
what
that.
What are you talking about?
I mean, usually we had it all calendared out.
Well, we blew through we only calendared out like 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
except for I think we calendared out like certain movies coming out and stuff like that, but not all of it. But anyway, Colonel's yawning out his eyelids. Ziggy, tell him good night.
Hey man, thanks so much for joining us and hearing us out on Texas Chainsaw, disagreeing with us. Everything's accepted here. I love it. You love it. We love it. And we'll be back for more, man. 2 weeks. Curse Your Luck round 2. Can't wait. See you then. We'll see you next week too, but I mean. Yeah.
Colonel.
Thanks for joining us. Like I said, this is a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Especially the rankings part. I would have loved to talk shit about these movies for 2 hours instead of breezing through them. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I wish we could have had more time.
That's okay. It's all right. And I'm sure the new one will come out and we'll redo our rankings like we did for Halloween. Just, I'm telling you, TMI, I know, but I'm pretty sure Zag sent me some Oliver's Pizza over here. So don't get sick. Wash your dick. Don't smoke Scuba Steve. Use Steve.
No.
God damn it. We'll be posting we'll be coming back to you next week, guys. Again, not sure exactly what our topic's going to be, but I'm sure it will be something bizarre and entertaining. Or maybe that's just us. Maybe we're just bizarre and entertaining. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, and have a good night. Woo! Woo! I just wanted to throw that in there for a while.